let's see if we can find the key for some of this Magikey deck profile. What's up guys, Abe here, and today we have a Magikey deck profile. So, if you don't know anything about Magikeys, don't know if there'll be a meta deck, but they're definitely fun, I would say. They incorporate a lot of, I don't say a lot of, because there's only like one of each, except the fusions, but they have Exceeds now, Synchros that were introduced in Burst of Destiny. We had from Dawn of Majesty, we had Rituals and Fusions, but now we got a lot more cards in Burst of Destiny that will help out, especially like the extra deck. And then I added a little bit of Invoked in there as well, just to help out with the fusion aspect of the deck. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So, with the Magikeys, they don't have, if we're going to say like when it comes to normal or effect monsters, they only have normal monsters. They don't have an effect monster, except the Mafteel. But this deck revolves around normal monsters. The main one is going to be Magikeys, the Magikeys Sky Blaster. Now, you could see maybe some deck profiles that run either 2 or 3 of this. I could down to 2 just because since this is more of a pure build and we're going to rely more on the extra deck monsters from Magikey, especially the Synchro guy, he's pretty good. In order for their effects to like resolve and stuff, or at least to act and even to activate for certain things, you need different attributes in the grave, different attributes, and so thinking of that when it comes to deck profile for this, since it is a dark, it sucks that it's not light, but it is a dark, so we had to put other like I want to say more prominent like attributes as well when it comes to the normal monsters, because if you control a normal or Magikey monster with a different attribute in the grave, then you can do like a lot of stuff with some of the monsters. So Magikeys we run 2, and then for the other ones we play 1 Avram, 1 Trumpeteer, and 1 Shari. A lot of people like to run like 3 Magikeys and like maybe 1 and 1. I added the Avram only because there are those times when I go into like a little combo with that involves the Ritual, the level 4 one, and especially if you really want to use its effect, you need to have 2 different monsters with different attributes. So the thing is, there's a lot of times where I end up with a Magikeys and then the Ritual monster, which is the next one. The thing that sucks is that they're both dark. So if I were to synchro into the new level 8 guy from Burst of Destiny, I can't use this effect to set something directly from the deck, because I didn't use 2 different monsters, or 2 monsters with different attributes. So the reason, like I said, the reason why I put Avram in here, 1, it's a 2K beater, and also it's a light. So it helps out with like if I say if you do, or even if you do like ritual summon, like if you do just summon this ritual into this, you at least have light in the grave. And then like I said, there's gonna be other ways to get other stuff in the grave as well. So that's why I just kind of want to explain why I'm picking these cards. And also, like I said, light, dark obviously is gonna be a very popular attribute, light as well. So that's why I wanted to add Avram. And then Trumpeteer, Earth, in case there's any like Earth machine stuff, and then Shari, because it's a fire, and also you can go into the Gunkin Exceeds, and the Gunkin Exceeds we play in the deck, and it's pretty good. Just more as like a beat stick, and you get to draw. But that's really the only reason why I play. And also Trumpeteer I like because it's a tuner, so if you really need to, you can sync up pretty easily into this deck with this deck. So that's my reasons why I play those other 3 normal monsters. Now we go on to the other Magikey monsters. For the rituals, we play 3 Battle Buster. So this one is when it's ritual summon, you add a Magikey card, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, card from your deck to your hand. This card's broken because if you don't have your Magikey world but you do summon it, you search out your Magikey world, because this card does so much for the deck. When it's activated, you add. Okay, we'll get there when we get there. But I just want to preface just how good that card is. But yeah, Battle Buster's good. As I said, it searches out any Magikey card. Second effect, it negates the effects of a monster your opponent controls, as long as you have 2 or more with different attributes in the grave. And you get to shuffle back stuff, so you can kind of mulligan your hand, and then you can start negating effects. So that's why, like I said, it's very important to get the 2 in the grave, two in the grave with different attributes, so that way you can, like, you know, use the effect. And even if he ends up not sitting out on the field, if you end up using for like a synchro or for a sync, if you use him for a synchro or exceeds, he's just, like I said, he's just hella good. So, and then also it's a level 4, so even more broken, right? So yeah, so that's why we played triple of him, because he's hella good. He searches out anything from your deck. For the next ritual, we just play one. I can't even say Gare Glassler, I guess you call it. But yeah, this card's good because we can get on the field. You can negate stuff, and it gains you under attack for each different attribute in your grave. So that's the good stuff. Like I said, some of these Magikey monsters, they have an effect where it doesn't really matter what's in your grave as long as there's different attributes. But there are other effects where if for like the summon of you use 2 different attributes, then those are the effects that are really good. So that's why, like I said, it's really important that you try to use 2 attributes as much as possible. Again, also if he gets sent from the field to the grave, well, if this ritual summon card is sent to the graveyard, add a Magikey monster from your deck hand. So he replaces himself. So he's really good. Whoop, almost dropped the card there. For the next card that was introduced in Bursts of Destiny as well, we have Magnificent Magikey Maftio. This card is broken. So first effect, you so let's say if you do ritual summon your Battle Buster, you have this on the field. You can use his first effect, which is you just target a Magikey monster you control, reveal this, and then you get an extra normal summon of a Magikey monster. So if you already like normaled this guy, you ritual summon into him, it's like, damn, that's all I have. I only have, I already normal summoned. Not really. With this card, you just, as long as you control one on the field, you reveal it. If that effect goes through, you get to normal summon, and then when he's normal summoned, you get to special summon a normal monster or a Magikey monster from your graveyard back onto the field. Level 4 or lower. And like I said, most of the stuff is going to be level 4 and lower. So even though you can't really bring back your extra deck stuff, you can at least bring back your Battle Buster if you already properly summoned it, or any of your normal monsters. So yeah, this card lets you extend. So even if you, like I said, you go into this, but then you have one normal in the grave, you normal summon this after you use the effect to normal, or you get the extra normal, and then you can go into one of your Xyz or Synchros. So yeah, this card just does a lot for the deck as well. So yeah, he's really good. And then now, we're done with the Magikey stuff. Like I said, they don't have too many main deck monsters. But we add a little bit of invoke stuff in here just to give it a little oomph, because I just don't want to play too many hand traps, because that's just like the go-to that you can do, I guess, with this deck if you want to not add the invoke stuff. But the invoke stuff is just more so you have access to other monsters, like other annoying monsters, I should say. And also because since we are playing a lot of different attributes, you can go into like more of your invoke package compared to like maybe some other deck profiles you've seen where I've added invoked, where you really only summon like either Makaba, obviously, or either Purgatrio or like Caliga, or if you have a wind deck or something, you can use Raijin. But yeah, like with this deck, since we are running a lot of different attributes, or a lot of the main attributes that are running around there, it just helps to go, and especially if let's say you don't get your Magikey stuff, but you just kind of need to sit on something, and you're able to get to Alistair and resolve all his stuff. You know how Invoke goes on its own. So just to add it into this deck just gives a little extra oomph to the deck. So yeah, so I played 3 until that card gets hit. I don't know when, but we'll find out. And then for the last card, 2 Ash, because 2 Ash is 2 Ash, and also it's a fire, so it helps out with summoning out Purgatrio. And also you just get just a little bit of protection. Alright guys, let's go on to the spells. So for the first spell we're going to talk about is Triple Magikey World. At first I was like, maybe I'll only run this card at 2 or something, but then once I put the deck together, and then at first I put it at 3 just to see what it does, because obviously the first effect is really good because you get to add a Magikey monster. But the second effect, to search out your Maftia, already broken, man. So that's why you got to play this at 3. Searches out any your Magikey monsters. If you need a normal monster, you can go for that, your Clavicus. Or if you really need to get out your Battle Buster, good already. And also the second effect, which is if during your main phase, you can add a Magikey from your deck to your hand, then place 1 card from your hand in the bottom of the deck. So, if, like, let's say you drew something that you didn't want. Let's say you drew, let's say you have like an unexpected die and a normal monster, right? You activate this, you add, you can add like Battle Buster, right? And then you can do the second effect. You get the Magikey, and then you can put back the normal monster on the bottom of your deck, and then from there you could like, play unexpected die, summon it out from the deck, and then that way you can, and then you have Magikey and you can ritual, and then you can go from there depending on what your other cards are in your hand. That's just like one little thing you could do. But yeah, this card is just really good. It searches out monsters. Also, the first time each non-token normal monster you control will be destroyed by a battle or card effect each turn, it is not destroyed. So if, let's say you just gotta, just beat down your opponent with some normal monsters, they're gonna have to destroy it twice or destroy this card first. And yeah, this card is just really good. Does a lot for the deck. For the next spell, we're only playing 2 Magikey. You can play 3 if you like, but I think 2 is enough because there are also other ways to like put it back in the grave, so that way you can like search it out with World. And yeah, so that's why we just play the 2. So Magikey, you can either fusion summon or ritual summon with this one. Most of the time we're going to use it to ritual summon, just because the ritual summons will get our plays going, and the fusions is kind of more like, okay, we kind of have our resources, we're going to try to start beating down if we can. So yeah, so that's why we use mainly we're going to use Magikey for ritual summon, and like I said, the fusion is probably more for like a beat down. For the one, we play one Magikey battle. So this one you just target a normal monster or a Magikey monster or a Magikey Magikey. You get shuffle in a deck, and then if you activate this card in response to your opponent's card or effect activation, normal monsters and Magikey monsters you control are unaffected by the opponent's card effect. So like, let's say if they're gonna lightning storm you or Magikey you, or like they're gonna pop one of your monsters and you kind of want to leave it on the field, you can use this, put something back in the deck, and then that way it's unaffected by that. So gives it a good little protection, and also, like I said, just helps recycle your stuff too. Yeah, so a good card. And then for the next card, unexpected die, you gotta play it. I think you gotta play this at 3. You can just special summon around 1 from the deck for free. That way you don't have to waste your normal summon. And yeah, die is just a really good card. And then obviously, since we're playing the invoke stuff, double invocation. Nothing to say about this card. This card's hella broken. We'll see if we hit it. They ever hit it on the list. It just gets that Dante treatment. Well, Alistair gets the Dante treatment, I should say. But yeah, Invocation is just such a versatile card. 1 Meltdown. If you want to play more Meltdowns, you can. But like I said, this card is really good in Shadows because you fusion summon a lot. We don't fusion summon too much, but when we do, you can, it helps to have that protection because you want your monsters to get summoned. But I just play this one just because it's just a way to search out Alistair. Obviously, if we play it at 1, that means we don't see Alistair as often. But with as much thinning we can do with the deck, just with the Magikey stuff itself, you'll see Alistair sooner or later. Like I said, once you set up your stuff and then you just and then you add your invoke stuff on top of that, your opponent's gonna have a bad time. So that's why you just play the 1, just because we don't need it. We don't need it as much compared to like World. For the next card, 1 High Ritual. So this card, it came out in Dawn of Majesty, but it's pretty good for this deck, especially just because like I said, Battle Buster is just such a good card. And it's easy to summon because it's a level 4, and then all your normals are level 4. And let's just read the card because I think it's a really good card. This card can be used to ritual summon any ritual monster from your deck. So that first part is already really good because if you don't have your Battle Buster starting out, you can just get it out from the deck. And then you must also tribute normal monsters from your hand whose total levels equal the level of the ritual monster you ritual summon. Shuffle that ritual monster into the deck during your opponent's end phase. That is fine because either we're usually, if it does stay on the field, we're going to try to protect ourselves. And by that time, it gets put back in the deck. That's fine, because then we can always search it out later. But the fact that you can use normal monsters from your hand. So like I said, there's gonna be those times where you do draw either too many normal monsters or like the one normal monster, but like you don't have a way to get to like Battle Buster. This card's gonna help out to summon it out from the deck. Especially because since Battle Buster is not like a very odd level, or it's not an odd level, like let's say it's like a level 6, so that means you have to use 2 monsters. That's not going to matter because Battle Buster is level 4, your normal monsters are level 4 as well. So that way you don't use too much material and then you can get your plays going. So yeah, high ritual art, really good card. For your 1-ofs, 1 terraforming Rhoda, because Magikeys is a warrior. Battle Master is not, which kind of sucks, but you know you do need your normal monsters in hand, at least 1 to start off with your plays. Instant fusion, because we're gonna use this to summon our Magikey, the level 4 fusion. Excuse me, because yeah, he's just really good and he's a tuner. And then 1 monster reborn. If you need to summon back your Magikey extra deck stuff, as long as you summon it properly, it's good. Or if you need anything else, Monster Reborn helps out with that. And also, you can steal your opponent's monsters from the grave. For traps, we're playing 1 of each of the Magikeys. I know there's probably some people who don't even play any of these, but like I said, since we're playing a mostly pure version, I don't want to say it is pure, but mostly pure, or 75% pure, whatever the fuck you guys want to call it. I just like playing this card because it gives you can do stuff during your opponent's turn. It's not just like I'm just gonna do all my stuff, and then if they do go through it, or if your opponent does break it, you're like, oh damn, I got nothing. So this just helps out, just to, like I said, interact with your opponent during their turn, and also you don't die. So duo is gonna let you fusion or ritual. So you target a normal monster or Magikey monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand, then you can do one of the following things. So you fusion or ritual, Magikey locking, tribute a normal monster or Magikey monster, and then you target up to 2 normal monsters and or Magikey monsters in your grave whose level equal 8 or less, special summon those monsters in defense, and then you can either synchro or exceed. Already really good. If you don't want to play this duo, you could play a second locking, because even it's weird because in my extra deck I do run double of the exceed and double of the synchro, because I just think they're really good stall cards. And then the unlocking we play 1 of, because it's kind of like their little solemn, I guess, or whatever, just to negate a spell and trap. Yeah, and then also you can change their attributes on the field, so that helps out as well with like certain things. And then for the last traps, triple impermanence, you need some kind of negation. And then now this card's more accessible, so why not put it in the deck? And for the last trap we play is double crackdown. Just in case if you need it for, like, let's say if you need material for your synchro, your XCs, or even for fusion monsters. You can take away your opponent's stuff, also interrupt your opponent as well. So yeah, so that's why I play double crackdown, just because it's an annoying card. Alright guys, so for the extra deck, we're going to start off with our Exceeds. We don't play too many, we just play 3. But we play double Magikey Spirit Verbartu. This one's going to be really key because this kind of can be like your stall. You kind of want to sit on it. First effect is when it's Exceed summon, you detach and add a normal monster, level 4 or higher, from your deck to your graveyard to your hand. And then if this card has a normal monster as material, it gains this effect. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster with the same attribute as a normal monster or Magikey monster in your graveyard, you can detach 1 material from this card. Your opponent must send that monster to the graveyard. So it helps out to get rid of stuff, especially if you can't destroy them, or like can't be destroyed with battle or card effects. So it helps out with that. So we played double of those. And also because it's a water, so in case you run into anything that is a water, it helps out with the attribute. And for the last 6 seeds, we play 1 Gunkin, Suship, whatever. You have to use a Shari to get the full effect, because you get to draw a card when it's Exceed summon. And the second part is once per turn when your Gunkin monster person from the extra deck inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you target a card your opponent controls, destroy it. So obviously itself, if it does if it's special summon and then you do inflict battle damage, you get to pop an extra card on the field. So he helps out with getting rid of some annoying stuff. So yeah, that's why we play with just one of him. Alright guys, for the next card we play, our one synchro in the deck, Magikey Fiend Transferlamine, whatever you call it. This is gonna be your main one, or like your main synchro you want to like kind of end on, especially if you're going first, just because it has a very like how do you say a continuous effect that's really good. So it needs a Magikey tuner and a non-tuner normal monsters. That's the first thing. And then this card can make attack on monsters, or can make 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. Okay, good. And then you can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If you control this card that was synchro summoning using at least 2 attributes of monsters, very important, set a Magikey spell and trap directly from your deck to your spell and trap zone. So that way you can get out like the counter trap that negates the spell and trap and whatnot. Or if you really want like battle or unlocking your duel, you can do that as well. And then second, if the last part is going to be the good one. If your opponent normal or special summons a monsters, with the same attribute as a monster in your grave, except during the damage step, you can destroy that monsters. Okay, so like I said in the beginning, it's gonna be very important you try to get as much different attributes in the grave as possible. That way you can, whatever your opponent summons, hopefully you can pop it. Like I said, usually we're gonna try to have a light and dark in the grave because that's a lot of cards nowadays. So yeah, or we're gonna have fire, earth, or light. What I said, light and dark I already said, but like fire and light, or fire and earth are going to be a very popular attribute as well. So yeah, we just try to get as many different attributes in the grave, because that way you can just start popping your opponent's stuff. So yeah, so he has a really good like floodgate effect, I guess you can say. And he's a 28 body, 28 attack, 28 defense. But yeah, he's just really good. For the next card, one Magikey Beast. I'm not even gonna say his name. We're gonna usually summon this guy with instant fusion, because like, let's say if you want to exceed or synchro really easily, we're just gonna try to use instant fusion if we can. And then also if it's fused on me, add a Magikey Maftia from the grave to your hand. So it's a good way to recycle your Maftia as well. And then once per turn, you can target attack position monster your opponent controls with the same attribute as a normal or Magikey monster in your grave. Change the defense. And if it does, it loses 1,000 defense. And this last part is pretty good as well. Manage any monster controlled by battle with this card. So obviously you can't attack when you use instant fusion, but let's say if you do hard fusion this card, you can get around some stuff. And also it vanishes, which is really important as well. But yeah, we just play the one of. And then for the next Magikey one, Magikey Dragon. You need a Magikey effect monster and a normal monster. And when it's fused in something, your opponent can activate cards or effects, so that way they can't respond. Once per turn, target normal monster or Magikey in your grave. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls with that monster's attribute. So like I said, if we get a bunch of different normals in the grave, you can kind of pick and choose what you want. And then if you summon this guy, and depending on what you're playing against, if there's going to be annoying light monsters or annoying dark monsters, you can pick that, pop them. And then once per turn, if opponent monster with the same attribute as a monster in your graveyard is destroyed by a battle card effect, if this card is fused something using two different attributes as material, draw a card. So like I said, it's going to be really important that we try to use different attributes as much as possible. So try to get the full effects of all your Magikey monsters. But yeah, here's going to be more of your beater. And yeah. For your invoke stuff, one Caliga, because like I said, we're playing some darks, and also if your opponent's playing darks, you can use your opponent's stuff as well. Purgatrio is just an annoying card to get around, and he can get pretty big. One Macabre, because Macabre's Macabre. And then for the last fusion, since we are playing a lot of normal monsters, there are going to be those times where you do end up having like too many normal monsters in hand. If you can get away, if you can get away to get the invocation, you can just fusion some of the guy out, and your opponent's gonna pray to try to get around this card, because this card is really annoying to get around. So yeah, that's why we play in the deck. For your links, one Link Spider, because obviously we're playing normal monsters, and also just to link up really easily. One Phoenix, because we inherently don't have too many spell and trap removal, so Phoenix is a good generic one. Draco Masters of Tenyi. Like I said, this goes really. It's kind of like my old Phantasm Spiral deck profile. And we also play Crackdown as well, since we are playing normal monsters or non-effect monsters. Just having this guy out, and as long as you have some in your grave, since we usually are, you can start popping stuff. So yeah, so he's just really good. And then for your last link, obviously access code. Yeah, if you need to pop stuff, and like I said, once you start getting your stuff going, you're gonna have to be summoning a lot, and then after that, you can just like blink into access code. Obviously, you need effect monsters for access code, but that's why Link Spire kind of helps as well. So yeah, so that's it for the deck profile, you guys. Let me know down in the comments what you think about it. I know maybe some people might like the Halkey Fibrax version more, but you know, I want to make it more fun. I know how the Halk play can be fun as well. But you know, let's just try to make it more pure for Magikeys, you know, maybe give it a little twist compared to what other people are playing. But yeah, it's a really fun deck. Like I said, there's gonna be, if they get some more support, which I hopefully they do, this deck can do some stuff, I believe. And I know there's like a Magikey Megalith version out there and I saw the deck profile. First, you know, you look at it, it doesn't make sense. But then you think about it and you're like, oh, it can do some plays. But yeah, so Magikey I feel like is a very, it's an all-around deck, I feel like. And it can do some stuff. But yeah, like I said, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share the video. If you guys are on social media, make sure you guys follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and any other place you be. I think that's the only place we are. But yeah, make sure you guys check us out.